Imagine a life without betrayal, a life free of crime, a life where love and trust is the order of the day. Today we'll be looking at the heartbreaking story of a beautiful young lady who had her life cut short by someone she knew and trusted. The beautiful and young Christiana Idowu was a 300-level student at the University of Agriculture, Abeokuta, Ogun State. She was reported missing on August 19, 2024, same day her abductors contacted her mom through her WhatsApp at about 8:49 p.m. Christiana, who was undergoing her industrial training program at the University of Lagos, Yaba, Lagos State, lived with her widowed mother in the Ita-Oluwa area of Ikorodu, Lagos State. She left home on Sunday, August 18th to Yaba as she does every other weekend. Except this weekend, she would unfortunately not arrive at her destination. She was kidnapped, never to be heard from or seen alive again. On August 19th, Christiana's mother got a WhatsApp text from her daughter's number, thinking her daughter had arrived and was trying to fill her in as she hadn't heard from her. She opened the message. To her greatest shock, she met a strange and terrifying message. "Hello, madam. You have such a beautiful daughter. How much are you willing to pay to see her again? We have her in our custody." The kidnappers then proceeded to send a picture of Christiana in a very terrible state using the View Once option on WhatsApp. They then requested for the sum of 3 million naira to be paid as ransom within 24 hours, else they would kill her and sell her body parts. Christiana's mother, who is only but a poor widow struggling to make ends meet, coupled with the harsh economic situation, was unable to raise such amount of money within such a short period of time. The abductors would then contact her again, and this time, she would summon the courage to plead with the abductors to please reduce the ransom, as she was unable to come up with the amount requested. The kidnappers then asked her to pay 1.5 million naira. This amount was still too high as she was unable to meet up within the short time required. On August 21st, the abductors began to add more pressure. They threatened her, claiming to be involved in some organ harvesting syndicate, stating their only job was to capture young and healthy people, and Christiana in fact met the requirements. They followed up the message with an explanation stating that they request for ransom from relatives when there are no demands for organs, and when relatives are lucky enough to meet their demands, they let their victims reunite with their families, but if otherwise, they keep the victims pending when demand would come. They also claimed there is always a need for organs. The kidnappers pretended to be from northern Nigeria, when it was in fact just a facade. As negotiations were going on and on, the abductors realized the poor widow in fact could not raise such amount of money, so they then reduced the ransom drastically to 400,000 naira. Christiana's family was only able to come up with the sum of 350,000 naira, and this money was gotten through donations from her church. At this point, a male friend of Christiana would reach out to her other friend and ask what the situation was. This male friend seemed very concerned about Christiana and all her friends. This male friend will also go on to ask what the church was doing about the situation and if Christiana's department was in the know of what was going on. The friend would then go on to say she believed the church was trying to raise money to help out. The kidnappers, on the other hand, encouraged Christiana's mother to reach out to her classmates and that, who knows, they may be of help. The widowed mother, however, maintained she could only raise 350,000 naira. Running out of patience, the abductors then demand she sent the money to a SportyBet account over the counter. SportyBet is a gambling site where people place bets on sports teams. On August 23rd, 2024, 5 days after Christiana was first reported missing, her mother paid the sum of 350,000 naira to the SportyBet account provided by the abductors. The kidnappers would then go on to cut all communications with her after they received the money. The 174 Battalion Army got hold of the situation and took over the case. They retrieved the SportyBet account number from Christiana's mom and proceeded to get the account frozen. Having experienced difficulty in accessing the funds, the kidnappers reached out to the mother to demand she sends her bank statements to a certain email address, musaahmed0288@gmail.com. They then demanded she pay some additional funds to a certain Wema bank account. Christiana's mother then proceeded to pay the sum of 10,000 naira. The kidnappers were not particularly happy about the amount she sent. Through thorough and swift investigations, the army was able to uncover the BVN linked to the Sportybet account. Meanwhile, on the 22nd of August, some amount of money was sent to Christiana's GTB account, and the money was withdrawn into the same Wema Bank account with the account name Ayomide Adeleye. By August 29th, investigations by the intelligence operatives confirmed from the bank that the BVN linked to the masked betting account matched the account owner Ayomide Adeleye. Further investigations revealed that the abductors were able to withdraw the sum of 100,000 naira from the betting account before it was frozen. With information in hand, authorities began investigation into the prime suspect Ayomide Adeleye. It is only then they would discover he in fact shared a mutual relationship with Christiana, as they were seen commenting on each other's posts on Instagram. Crazy enough, the same number used to launder money from Christiana's account was used to beg for funds online. Authorities then began to track his cell phone activities. This led them to his parents' house somewhere in Ikorodu. With confirmation of his presence in the residence, gallant personnel of the Nigerian army swooped in on the suspect and arrested him. It turns out Ayomide is that friend who was worry-sick about Christiana, texting everybody and asking about her. Shocking, right? After the arrest, overwhelming evidence were found with the suspect, and this includes Christiana's blue Itel A56, details of the money moved, and also details confirming he owns the betting account as it was registered with his phone number. An interaction between his personal email and the email address used to interact with the victim's family was found. After reviewing the evidence, the suspect, 23-year-old Ayomide Adeleye, was taken into custody for further investigation. Ayomide was in fact a childhood friend of Christiana. They grew up together and also attended the same church. Imagine the shock Christiana's family, especially her mom, experienced when this fact came to limelight. A child you watched grow up, a child you contributed in their upbringing, a child you trust and would vouch for at any time because you watched him grow. On September 3rd, 2024, Ayomide would confess to have killed the girl Christiana and buried her behind their compound. He said when Christiana left the house, it began to rain, so she took refuge in their shop, which was in front of their house, with hopes of continuing on her way when the clouds cleared. Unfortunately for Christiana, the rain only intensified, and he invited her to come into the house. Christiana, unsuspecting of anything sinister, followed her childhood friend, whom she trusted. While inside the house, Ayomide tried to sexually assault her, but she resisted, and this ultimately infuriated him, and he lashed out on her. Christiana apparently lost her life the very day she left home to Yaba. A stroll through Ayomide's social media page, X, revealed he has always been cryptically vocal about his ordeals. In fact, his username spelled SK. Could it be he meant serial killer? His username spelled Seki, which is used to refer to serial killer in Japanese. In one post, he expressed his desire to wanting to be a billionaire before 33. Since his arrest, there have been unconfirmed news of the disappearance and possible death of several young women, including his sister, linked to him. In 2018, the suspect's ex-girlfriend was killed in the same manner. In 2020, the suspect's biological sister met the same fate. In February of 2023, 20-year-old Sarah Jonathan, a student of the Lagos State Polytechnic Ikorodu, went missing in the same area as Christiana, Itaoluwo axis in Ikorodu. She was reported missing on February 2nd, but nothing was found in her case, and no one saw nor heard from her. It was said she went to see her mom, who is a teacher, but somewhere along the line she vanished. On 2nd February, around midnight, her mother got a text from her phone demanding she paid the sum of 1.5 million naira if she wanted to see her daughter again. This is identical to the Christiana Idowu's case. The mother could not come up with such amount. The abductors also encouraged the mother to contact the school, just like Christiana. The school was contacted and everyone, including the department, rallied for money to be sent for her release. Her picture was also sent, just like Christiana. As of now, his involvement in these cases have not been confirmed, but on the 8th of July 2023, he replied to a post on X when a question of going back in time or taking 10 million was asked. He tweeted he had rather go back in time and fix the mistake that claimed his sister's life. This case is still very much under investigation. It is very sad that we live in fearful times. No one can be trusted, not even family. No one knows what his thought process was, but we sure know killing Christiana was not the way to go. What are your thoughts on this case? Please share with us in the comments. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Please make good choices as you go about your day. See you in our next video.